chapter 73, verse number 20. And I would like to prove that Salat means following the instructions of God in the Quran and closely following them. The meaning of Salat is not offering worship or prayers in this verse. Number two, I would like to explain and clarify, according to my research, that zakat does not mean giving charity in this verse, but it means fruitful growth of the principles of the Holy Quran. That is, when you act upon the principles of the Quran, you will get rewards. This is called the growth of the principles given by God in the Quran. I will present this verse in order to prove this according to the suitability of the words used in this verse, according to the continuity of thought, according to the relationship of ideas and words in this verse, and according to the organization of the ideas and the words and sentences in this verse. As all good speeches and all good writings have this coherence and organization of thought, this verse has the purpose, and the purpose is achieved by giving arguments and examples. Certainly, your Lord and Master knows that you stand for about 2/3 of the night, or half of the night, or 1/3 of the night, and read out the Holy Quran. Allah knows that how much time you devote. He measures the night and the day, so He knew that you won't be able to continue it for all the times. Therefore, God has been very kind to you, and He has allowed you to read out from the Holy Quran easily, as easily you can do. For this, the Arabic words are فَقْرَوْا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. Whatever is easy for you, you read from the Quran. Here I would like to explain that فَقْرَوْا means that you have to read out, you have to speak and tell them. Because the Holy Prophet ﷺ is with the company of many followers, some of the followers, and he is reading out, telling them the verses of the Quran. According to the number of revelation as recorded in history, this is the 3rd chapter which has been revealed by God. So they knew only 2 chapters before this, and now this is the 3rd chapter which is going to come to an end. So God says that God knows, Alima, God knows that some of you will become patients, disease, they will be sick, and others will go out for business to different lands. يَضْرِبُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ, and they will try to get profits with the help of God, given by God. يَبْتَغُونَ مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. Because of the God's kindness, they will earn from their business, and they will try to make profits. And the next, or the others, will fight wars in the name of God in the future. For this the words are وَآخَرُونَ يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And then again he repeats and says, God says, فَقْرَوْا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنْهُ. Whatever is easy for you, read out from the Quran. And then he says, وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ. Now here I would like to explain that and is always used with the related ideas and related words which are joined in any speech or any writing. And the point I want to make is that the phrase which comes before were or and is related with the phrase which comes after it. So reading out is closely related with salat. And salat, as I said, originally is from the root salu, which means to follow, to go behind something or someone, to follow someone, to back someone. So that is closely following someone. Here, what they have to follow the reading of the Quran closely. They have to follow it, they have to understand it, and they have to remember it, and they have to be ready to act upon it in their lives after listening to it here. Because aqimu is taken from the root word kum. Kum means stand. And aqimu means you should make it stand. You should make salat stand. This means you should make salat ready to follow. You must remember it, and when you remember all these guidance of God, all these principles of God, all these verses, all these messages, all this information which is given to you, you have to keep it in mind, and you have to be ready to follow them and remember them. And then God says, well, Atu Zakat. This means that you have to give particular growth. And what kind of growth? Fruitful growth, not a common growth. Fruitful growth to these principles, to these messages, to this information which you have heard and remembered. And how do you give fruitful growth? Just like you give growth to seeds. You have seeds, the farmer has seeds, the farmer has information that he has to put these seeds in the soil after making it soft, after watering it, then it will grow in the earth, and then it will come out, and it will grow in the shape of plants, and then the fruits will appear. And this is the result of their growth, that in the end they have to get fruits. So if you want to get fruits and you grow something, this is the simile, this is the metaphor to this here. So you, in the same way, you have to listen to this information, these messages, remember them, you have to be ready to act upon them, to follow them, and whenever the time comes, you have to act in such a way that fruits come, that good rewards appear before you now or afterwards. And then God says, Afrizullah kardan asana. This is just like a loan. This is another metaphor, another simile. That this is just like a loan. When you give a loan to somebody, then you get profit out of it. In the same way, when you put up your action before God, a good action, by acting upon the principles of the Holy Quran, then you will get rewards. You will get ajr. And God further says, وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُم مِّنْ خَيْرٍ. And whatever good you do, whatever good deed you do, you put forward to God, تَجِدُوهُ إِنْدَ اللَّهِ. You will find with God khairan, better reward. A better reward for your actions. وَأَعْظَمَ أَجْرًا, and great rewards. Great sawab, they say. Great returns for your good actions. And then again God joins and says, وَأَسْتَغْفِرُ. Astaghfirullah means that you have to seek protection from God. You have to save yourself from what? From sins, from mistakes, from punishment. So how can you do it? You will do it by following the instructions of God. If you follow the commands of God, you will save yourself from the sins. You will save yourself from the mistakes. So a good Muslim always asks, after listening to the Holy Quran, that God may save him from committing mistakes, from committing sins, because it is human nature that one may make mistakes, one may forget the Holy Quran's instructions, one may not act according to it, and he may think that he is acting accordingly. So he should not make any mistake in this, in the application of the principles of the Holy Quran. And then God says in the end, Inna Allah Ghafurur Rahim, certainly God is the Savior. He saves you from committing mistakes, sins and punishments, or getting punishments, because if you do good deeds. And He is also Rahim. Rahim means that He provides you with good instructions because they are needed by you. If you need these instructions, God has provided this guidance in the Holy Quran. So if you look at this verse, you will find that all the words are suitably used, that all the words are connected with each other, and that all the words have a good relationship with each other. And the purpose is that one should read the Holy Quran or listen to the Holy Quran, remember it, should be ready to follow the instructions in life, and then he should act upon them in such a way that he can get good reward. If he is not acting according to whatever he is asked to do, or he misunderstands something, something will go wrong. And just like the seed does not grow if you make mistakes, in the same way you won't be able to get good rewards. Now the problem is that people think that Salat is only offering prayers in the mosque, and Zakat is only giving charity. It is not so here, because this is the third chapter revealed by God, and at that time in Mecca, the Salat or the worship was not at all commanded for the Muslims. It was commanded in Medina, 1 year before Hijrah. Now the problem is that Salat also means offering prayers. Why? Because it means following. Following whom? Following the words of the Quran in the mosque when it is recited out by the leader, and following the leader. When the leader stands, you stand. When the leader bows, you bow. And when the leader prostrates, you prostrate. You are following the leader in the mosque along with all the human beings, all your companions collectively, and you are following the words of the Quran. You understand them, and you say that they are really good things, and I appreciate it, and then I show my obedience by following and by prostrating, that I will certainly follow and obey all these commands. This is also called Salat. But the Quran clarifies that whenever God means following the instructions of God, it is clear from the context. Whenever God says you have to go to the mosque and perform your prayers or worship, ritual worship, then it is clear from the verses in the context. Always read the Quran in the context. Always see what is meant, because in Quran many things are hinted out, many things you have to understand. They are implicit, they are clear in the words of the Quran. And in the same way for Zakat, in every verse of the Holy Quran, God says that you have to act upon the principles of the Holy Quran so that you can get good rewards. This is called fruition. This is called getting result-oriented action, whatever in modern times we say, effective action, result-oriented action. This is the meaning of the Zakat in every verse of the Holy Quran, in the context that you study it. This is my research. And as far as giving charity is concerned, God has given two principles: sadaqat, khuz sadaqat. That means He ordered the Holy Prophet to take sadaqat from them. Sadaqat means in order to prove your belief in God and belief in the principles given by God in the Holy Quran, you have to give help to poor people, to the needy people, by paying your donations, whatever these days we call donations to the government, so that the government may spend that on poor people and the needy people. And the other principle God has given in the Holy Quran is infaq fi sabilillah. That means every individual is ordered to give help to the charity or help to the poor people, needy people, whenever it is needed, because it is their duty to prove their belief in God, and God has ordered them to do so, whatever they can spare for them. after their needs. That is also ordered in the Holy Quran. When the people asked him, how much should we spend on them? And God says, "Qulil af." That means whatever remains with you after your expenditure, it is your duty to spend that. So when these two principles are given separately, there is no need to give this meaning to zakat. Thank you very much.